Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Bullets Athletic Spotlight. I'm Jen Mower, Assistant Director of Athletic Communications. And as we continue on in this series, joining us today is Assistant Coach Amanda Kerno, who is part of the cross country and track and field programs. So Amanda, we've been thrown a curveball, let's just say, since March happened. There was no outdoor track and field season, no fall athletic competition. So what have been some things that you have been doing to keep the women's cross country team active and involved during this period?
So we have kind of done some of these challenges. I'm sure Coach Hartzler talked about this with the men's program. We've been doing like push-up challenges and all kinds of things just to get people involved, and they can log that through like social media and through like a Google Doc we've been doing. So those are some like little fun things. And I know some of the captains have set things up through like their group messages or whatever. Just as a team, we've been really trying to stay connected with our training plans and making sure that everybody is staying involved with another member or with a coach just touching in.
Yeah, so obviously we're hoping that the fall teams can compete in the spring and stuff. So that's still kind of up in the air. But what are some of the goals and expectations for the women's cross country program for 2020 to 21?
So we're really approaching this kind of as a building year. Obviously, we have a great opportunity to just get in a lot of solid foundation work, which has been the goal that I've expressed to some of them, and I know they all want to run well. So we're trying to expand on that. So they're doing a lot of building, trying to get in some solid foundation work, and then we're throwing in some different types of speed work just to kind of mix things up and keep it interesting, not getting too monotonous, but also trying to just build off of what we've done previously. So just always looking forward. I would say some of our goals would be looking ahead, just trying to crack into that like top 4 or 5 in the conference and make a little bit more of an impact during our regional season. So always just kind of looking forward as we move on. We've got a good, middle and younger group of athletes. So just trying to really get them situated in our program.
Yeah, and so just recently, the teams have been allowed to start with strength and conditioning and practicing on campus. So how has that been going so far for the women's cross country teams? Or you can include both cross country teams in that if you want.
So with the group that I've been working with, we've been starting to do some strength training in the weight room that's been set up in the field house. I know I think Georgia just did a program with the rest of the team through Instagram. So we've been trying to incorporate strength and agility with whatever people have available at home. So whether that's, just doing some body weight exercises, or if they do have access to other equipment, making sure they're getting in whatever they can.
So now you're entering into your 3rd season at Gettysburg as being an assistant coach again for the cross country and track and field programs. So what have been some things that you've been able to learn under Coach Shenk and Coach Hartzler during your time?
It's definitely interesting getting a perspective from Coach Shenk, who has been doing this for a long time. I think the biggest thing that he taught me was how long you can be in this sport and enjoy it. Obviously, he was here for, a good bit of time, 35 years, and he was still out there every day yelling and cheering people on no matter what they were doing during a regular run or a workout or a race. So I think just always coming into it with the perspective of why we started, as a child you were running or you found it in some other aspect of your life, but always just keeping that basic level of joy. Under Coach Hartzler, he brings a different bit of perspective coming as a jumper. So trying to incorporate different aspects of training, not just running, but making sure that people are getting in their lifts or doing other types of like plyometrics has been interesting to watch, and see as a bit more of a science base to what he's bringing to the table.
So why did you get into coaching in college athletics?
So I was a runner myself. I started running in middle school, I ran in high school, and then I ran for Elizabethtown in college. I've always really enjoyed it. It's always just been something that I'm naturally drawn to and still having fun with. I've been doing a cross-country camp for the past 8 years. We do it once a summer, like once a week during the summer. And I always enjoyed being a counselor there. So we develop a training plan. So when I saw there was an opening, I had been kind of searching around looking for something, and Gettysburg accepted me. It was good to learn under Coach Shenk, putting, different things together and seeing them come to fruition. So it's always been kind of in my life, and it was just, I think, a good opportunity to pass on what I wish I had known or what I have learned during my experience to kind of the next up and coming group of people.
So again, you're going into your 3rd year of being at Gettysburg. So what have you enjoyed about working at the college?
I absolutely love just the battlefields around us. They're beautiful. I like being out there every day. Looking around, whether I'm running with the girls' team sometimes or biking alongside the guys during a workout, if we're going over to part of the field, like it hits a little bit different. It's something interesting about the history of it and just kind of what it represents. It's beautiful, and I don't know, it's fun. It's good to be out there.
So that's going to kind of lead into the next segment that I had for you. So what do you enjoy about doing in town of Gettysburg? Would you say the battlefields, or is there any other parts of like restaurants or stuff that you have enjoyed as well?
I do like the battlefields. We did a coaches meeting at a restaurant, and I would love to say the name of it, and I can't remember what it was, in town, and it was great. So I would definitely love to explore more. What I have been able to experience has been great, but I definitely need to get a little bit more, in town once things are fully opened up and have some extra time.
So we had a lot of extra time during quarantine. So what were some habits or hobbies, I should say, that you picked up during that time?
So I started gardening. I was really bored one time when I was, fighting some lady over tomatoes at the grocery store because there's nothing left. So I came home and I decided, like, hey, we should try to plant something and see what happens. So we grew some stuff. I made a homemade pasta sauce, which is really good. So that was interesting to learn about. And I'm married to an engineer, so we always have projects going on. So we're actually renovating our basement, as you can kind of see behind me. So that's always a work in progress.
Obviously, we work in college athletics. We're probably going to have some favorite professional sports team or sports heroes growing up. So what would you say are some of your sports heroes or favorite professional teams or college teams that you enjoy following along with?
So I'm not super into football or anything like that. I've always been interested in different track athletes, but growing up, my dad and my brother were hardcore Oakland Raiders fans. So I do kind of follow along with that through them. Athletes, I would have to say, I have always liked watching, track. Emma Coburn has been fantastic over the recent years. Jenny Simpson, one of the girls I actually graduated in my year from my, hometown area, Marielle Hall, is now a professional athlete with Bowerman Track Club. So that's been really cool to kind of see her progression going through life. So it's been interesting to follow.
Well, that is awesome. And Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today. And for all of you watching, make sure to stay tuned to see who we will be featuring next in the Bullets Athletic Spotlight. So for Amanda, I'm Jen Mower, signing off. Until next time, go Bullets!